Okay, and then I'm going to show off the last feat, which is feat 4. We can't show it off
to its full
to
extent.
its full extent.
Yeah.
But basically, she throws her shield. The trick with this is that it deals damage, debuffs defense, and it bounces around targets.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm FranklinTurtz, and I'm your internet turtle. Today we're going to be doing another hero overview, this time on the newest Outlander to join the ranks of For Honor, the Arabian hero Afeera. Now Afeera from the trailer looks extremely interesting. She looks like she's going to be moving all around the battlefield. It's going to be very hard to try to outrun her. Her legs must be a lot stronger than most other characters in the game. She looks extremely agile, extremely fun to play, and I can't wait to go a little in depth with the kit design and stuff like that with you guys. So without further ado, let's jump right in. Before we get into actual parts of her kit, I did just want to go into a little bit about her animations. The devs at For Honor, the people that design how heroes move, how heroes perform, I'm really appreciative of how much care they took with this character. You can see how fluid the animations are right here, but you'll see obviously as the video goes on as well just how many new mocaps they had to do, how many brand new moves that they were coming up with, and everything looks really fluid, really solid. So you could tell how much they really want this game to succeed, how much they do care and love this game. Obviously we know For Honor's not perfect, but at least they try as hard as they can to make a great product for us, and I'm really thankful that this trend seems to be continuing with this new character. Alright, now on to the moves for the new character. To start out with, Brigitte has superior block not only on her initial lights, like Warlord comes to mind, but also on her finisher lights. So they are chained. If you do light to light, it's going to be those chain lights, and they're both superior blocked, so very good to counter people, and a very good quick way to get into fights pretty safely. Kavira also has dodge attacks. She has a forward dodge heavy, and that's that. That doesn't really have any special properties, it's just a forward dodge heavy. But she also has side dodge heavies as well, akin to Pirate. They look a lot similar to Pirate's dodge heavies, although I don't think that the dodge animation is exactly the same. It's pretty similar, but I've told you guys in multiple videos, I don't really care about reused animations, especially with this type of character where they had to mocap a whole bunch of new animations. I think we could let this slide, at least this time. Another first for this character is a raw feintable bash. A lot of the bashes currently in the game can be feinted or are able to be feinted at some point through the chain, but you have to kind of get into the chain to do that bash. And then the bashes that can't be feinted are normally your standard bashes, BP bash, Shaolin bash, Centurion bash, all those different types of orange moves. But this is the first one that you can actually hard feint into into a guard break, light, heavy, zone, anything you want to do kind of like that, which is really interesting that they decided to go that route for a raw bash like that. It gives her a nice amount of offensive pressure because you don't always know what exactly she's going to be doing, and with the rest of the unique moves in her kit, it's definitely going to give her a lot of control on the battlefield. The next part of her moveset is her chained heavies. Her regular heavies don't really do anything special, anything particularly interesting, but She-Ra's chained heavies are actually really neat because depending on the side that you do them, will give you a different special property. The right side heavy finisher is unblockable, the top heavy finisher is undodgeable, and then the left chained heavy is going to displace the target, so it's essentially going to move the target to the right. So when you hit them on the left, it moves them to the right, akin to Jormungandr, essentially, with his unblockable heavies, and even with Testing Ground Jormungandr with his guard break heavies and whatnot, which, by the way, Yubi, where's Testing Ground Jormungandr? I'm pretty sure we all loved him. All you need to do is change a little bit of the damage values, and we will love this character. Please bring him out ASAP. I need some hammers in my life. Hammer me, daddy. Anyway, so What really makes this unique is that these are essentially toolbox heavies, where you use the heavy depending on the situation. If you got a bunch of people around you, I'm sure it'd be more useful to use the unblockable heavy to kind of, you know, cover area around you. The undodgeable would be good for people that are trying to get away from you, or trying to kind of get around the battlefield to get into a better position. And then obviously, you know, you don't really have to explain too much about the displacement heavy, the heavy that moves them around, because that just sets up a free heavy of its own, and also sets up more damage from your teammates in 4v4s. She also has a mid-chain bash that she could do after any of her openers. So essentially, if she does a light, if she does a heavy, if she does a, you know, a zone, a dodge attack, anything like that, she can get this this little kick move that leads into some more combos, some more options for her. Another neat little trick that she has is the ability to backflip, essentially. Well, maybe not just backflip, because that's a shinobi thing, but to literally just gymnast flip out of anything. So when she does a starter move, anything like that, she can automatically backflip, front flip, side flip, you name the direction, she can flip in that direction, basically, to kind of, you know, place herself in a different position. After any of these flips, she's able to do a nice little knee to the face, Mortal Kombat style. And this leads into some other finisher moves as well that we're going to be going into here in a second. So the devs explained that essentially with her bashes and the chain heavy follow-ups afterwards, off of the, whether it's any knee or kick, any leg-based bash, or the shield bash, you're still going to go into your chain heavies, the chain heavy finishers that we mentioned earlier, which if you do it on the right, again, reminder that it's unblockable, to the top is undodgeable, and then to the left is going to push your opponent to the right. It's going to displace your opponent to the right. But all of the animations are a little bit different, which is really, really cool to see that they actually like took the time to make each of those moves feel unique, even though they had, you know, the same purpose, the same properties. But it's really cool to see how this character is able to utilize their movement across the battlefield, their movement in fights, to kind of get the same result no matter what specific move she needs to get the job done. Like, no matter what specific bash she's using, she's going to end on the same result that she anticipated, you know. She also has a zone that overall unremarkable, not that it really needs to be per se, you know, the rest of her kit kind of speaks for itself, but it does act as a chain starter, which is really good because she can kind of keep up the pressure that way. She also has a run attack as well that also acts as a chain starter, so no matter what she's doing, she's going to be getting into that chain that she has. The devs also mentioned that Achita has a bit of a relentless way about her. She's kind of able to chase people down no matter what. Even though her range, you know, light heavy wise is kind of short, the bash not necessarily is so short. As you can see here, you're able to, no matter how far you are, as long as you're locked onto somebody, it seems you're able to just run at them, just rush them down, and then hit them with that regular bash. This is able to be feinted. It doesn't look like the regular bash is able to be feinted in the same way that this bash is able to be feinted with dodges. She's able to use that backflip to kind of soft feint out of it, it seems. But the regular feint, like into GB or whatever, like the hard feint still works no matter what. So you could still use that in the regular bash. You could use that with this long-ranged version of the bash. So there's a lot of different ways to get out of that run animation to really mix up, really confuse some people. I know I will definitely be confused by it the first few months that she's out, most likely. Last thing we'll talk about before we move into her feats are her dodges. So all of her dodges have superior block properties, meaning that, you know, if you dodge into them, an opponent's attacks will just bounce off. And then when you do a superior dodge into a move, all you have to do is press bash afterwards. I believe they show only the forwards bash, but I'm guessing that you're able to do it to the side as well. But I guess that's something we might have to test later on when the character comes out. But as it stands, it would make sense for you to be able to get a bash on any of these superior blocks. But we'll see. Looks like yet another way for her to get into her offensive momentum and to start punishing people for daring to throw a move against her. And now, at last, we move on to Regina's feats.
What?
Her tier 1 is a just simple little leg throw takedown akin to Black Widow. Not only does she invoke Captain America, but she's also invoking Black Widow in her movements. So at this point, she's just going to become the entirety of the Avengers, and you can bet your ass that I'm going to be making at least 2 customizations for this character, one for Captain America and one for Black Widow. But it's a nice little entry bash to get some damage out and to set up some things for your team. Her tier 2 feat is a passive that works on any bash, essentially on any bash, including your kicks, it seems. As you could see from the tier 1, or as you saw from the tier 1, you do get that defense proc as well. But from essentially any orange move that she does, it looks like you get a little bit of a defense buff. So that should help you be able to sustain your offense, essentially, in 4v4 fights and when you're getting ganked and, you know, whatnot. So that's really neat. Her tier 3 feat is essentially the same as her normal run animation. However, instead of doing a bash in the way of the shield bash, you go into a full guard and you're able to actually do another variation of the Black Widow kick. I don't really know what else to call it, honestly. But another version of that Black Widow kick that allows you to reposition your enemy in front of you, throw them in a decent range away, and then you're able to get a confirmed heavy off of that. And her tier 4 feat is her shield throw. The shield throw works a lot like Pirate's ricochet bullet, where as long as you hit somebody, it'll ricochet to other people, other enemies, and anybody that gets hit by it will receive a defense debuff. Overall, I really like these feats. They're all really unique. I especially love the kind of meshing in the combination of using those kicks as well. It really shows off how agile this character is. Even though she has the full guard and is not an assassin, she is incredibly agile on the battlefield. She has a lot of different tools to kind of mess up the enemy team and cause confusion and disarray. But it looks really, really fun, and I cannot wait to get my hands on her for sure. And then she could get her legs on me. And just like that, another hero overview is in the books. I am super duper pumped to play this character. She seems and looks like a mix between, my best guess, if you were to like practice before we got our hands on her, is she's a mix of Shaman, with how Shaman can kind of close the distance like this character can with her running bash and her feats that she's able to use. Valkyrie, just because of the look of the character, she looks very similar to Valkyrie, but also the fact that Valkyrie and her both kind of use the shields as offensive tools, and Shinobi as well, with how agile she is and how she uses her backflips and knees and stuff like that. A lot of different bashes that require different types of movement to get to them or to use them. But those are like my best guesses as to kind of what you could use to kind of train before you get her. But she, even with those comparisons, she does really look like she's unique. And I'm all for more unique heroes in this game, absolutely. I can't wait to get my hands on her. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching the video. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you are liking, commenting. I'd love to answer all your comments, obviously. Subscribing if you haven't subscribed already to join the totally awesome community that we have been creating. And make sure to check out our other social links and stuff like that. Discord, Twitter, TikTok, all that good stuff. But until next time, I've been FranklinTurtz, and I am your Internet Turtle. See you on the next one.